our level of preparation has continued to rise throughout the year. Standards going higher and higher, just a matter of time before we see the results. So really proud of how we played as a team, as one, just sticking together. Good complementary football. It wasn't always pretty at times, but we hung in there. And, there were times in the back and forth where defense bailed us out, and then offense came through with a long drive. We were aggressive. I thought Thomas Brown did a great job calling his first game. I thought Bryce really played smart with the football. Thought we did a good job. No turnovers, very few penalties. 3 penalties to their 10, 0 turnovers to their 1. Those are big stats in a close game like this. And then just really proud of how we fought at the end, did what it took to win the game.
We want to expand off this and build off of it, but again, this is one win. It's great. We're going to enjoy it. It's great in the locker room, but obviously this isn't Super Bowl. We have to make sure that we're building off it. There's a sense of I think when us feeling that and getting that feeling, we don't want it to go away. We want to keep repeating it. We want to we have something tangible that we could chase that we felt, but at the same time, it doesn't this doesn't entitle us to anything next week or beyond. We have to continue to keep growing. We have to have the same urgency, if not more, to keep pushing and being better. I think it's great to have a taste and to be able to feel it. But again, it doesn't entitle us to anything in the future. So we have to earn it throughout the week.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the postgame edition of the Carolina Pro Football Report on ADSN. I'm Kevin Tolbert along with Kevin Casey. Kevin, an amazing day for the Carolina Panthers. They finally broke the 0-6 streak, but as you mentioned, an ugly game.
Ugly game, but Carolina, most importantly, they don't care how ugly it is. A W is a W in the NFL. 1-6 now. It sure beats 0-7. And we just got out of the locker room, the Carolina Panthers. First time I've been in there all season. I'm assigned to the winning locker room. So very good to see that. See, they haven't redecorated or anything, but a very uplifting mood. I think that these guys feel like they can put together a couple in a row and then see where they are, because the NFC South is not even though you're 0-6, you think it's ridiculous, preposterous even to think you can get in the playoffs. But this division is so bad, maybe 10 wins, you can get there.
Well, that's one of the things we got to speak with Adam Thielen about after the game. He talked about trusting the process and getting to this level. Let's hear what he had to say.
I think it's easy to kind of abandon the process, right, when you're losing. But I think guys started to feel the last few weeks, even though we were losing and we don't have any moral victories, but when we were losing those last couple games, it just felt different. We felt like the process was helping and was getting better, and we were getting better. And so I think that's a great thing that not a lot of times you feel when you're 0-6, or when you've lost a few games. So just to really just kind of feel that, and then now kind of see kind of how we handled this last week and what it led to. We're not about the results. Obviously the results are great, but we're about that process. So now kind of going back to Wednesday, or coming up on Wednesday, kind of going back to last week, hey, how did we kind of, what was the energy? What was the mindset of last week's practice that kind of helped us get to where we want to get to?
Now, one of the things that did help today is getting Austin Corbett back. There's been a big hole at the guard position. They've been trying to swap people all season. That hasn't worked well, but today they had a lot more fluidity there on the line, and I think just the experience of Austin Corbett allowed him to get back in there and really get to work.
You mentioned the offensive line. That was, I think, a big part of why Bryce Young had a clean game. He did get sacked several times. He held on to the ball maybe, but I think he's trusting his receivers, and that's kind of a trust to the offensive line. Even though he took some hits and some pressures and hurries, even some sacks, no interceptions, no fumbles. And, for a day of he was like 22 of 31 for 235 and a touchdown, I think the offensive line was key today.
So we got to speak with Austin after the game as well. Pretty emotional.
It's really hard to put words. Just give Katie, one athletic trainer I was working with the entire time, just big hugs. Just thank you. She's meant everything to us as a family this entire time.
Awesome. How Hudson, you guys are trusting the process. How extra special does it feel?
Yeah, that's exactly it. For every single day to be coming into this place, sitting down, having countless meetings with this athletic training staff, physical therapists, nutritionists, strength staff, sports science, be able to sit down with them every day. There's a set plan, and it's to see it all. You trusted it from the start, right? You knew it would happen and the time would come, but to see it come out and for it to work out like that and just have emotions toyed with on that field goal time and time again, it's everything. It's truly special.
So the Panthers did quite well. Still have some work to do, obviously. Frank Reich talked about that in the press conference. But all phases of football seem to look the way Frank Reich has described he wanted them to all season.
Yeah, all phases of the game, offense, defense, and special teams. We talked about that. You didn't allow a punt block. There wasn't any returns. So a clean game from the special teams perspective. A lot of things he wants to clean up, Coach Reich. I think the offensive play calling, even though Coach Reich is not the play caller per se, Thomas Brown, the offensive coordinator, is. I think that's a growing situation. I think he needs more time to grow into that position. I think the play calling does need a little bit to be desired, but you can't knock a W in the NFL, and that's what they got today. I think they can build on it. The Colts come in next week. That's going to be an emotional game, a 4 o'clock game, a rare 4 o'clock game here on the Eastern time zone for the Panthers following daylight savings. Right. It's going to be dark. Right. So anything's possible when the Colts come to town next week.
Now, we saved the best for the last here on ADSN. Eddie Piñeiro, rock solid. He did miss the point after attempt earlier in the game. He talked about that. He said, he had to make this go through because of what he had done earlier in the game. But, man, oh, man, what an ending to this game.
Well, had you not brought up he missed an extra point during the game, nobody else is going to bring it up because all everybody's talking about or will talk about tonight and tomorrow is he made the game-winning field goal. He the heck with the missed extra point. The dude made the game-winning field goal to win and give the Carolina Panthers their first victory of the season. Coach Frank Reich does not bring up that mixed extra point. That's his first win as a head coach for the Carolina Panthers. Hats off to Eddie Piñeiro hitting that clutch field goal, and there was a lot of there's some penalties on Houston. They got was like a 40-some yard turned into like an extra point. Yeah. So I mean, they'll take that. But a great day for the special teams. Eddie Piñeiro, a couple of field goals in addition to the game winner. So
we've got Bryce Young engineering some amazing drives today. Very masterful. He's seems to be progressing, on a different level now. Than he was. Now it seems like he's ready to kind of take off and hit that new gear. As we said, the special teams, and then Eddie Piñeiro with the magic field goal tonight. We'll forget about. Well, they call it in soccer the golden boot. You cover the FC Charlotte, so you're here at the stadium for a lot. I don't know if you were there with Adam Thielen before you got here, because you're talking to everybody. You're so busy here, but Adam Thielen talked about he and Bryce Young, and then he had some of the offensive guys gathered around. He didn't know if it was in the huddle or just right before they came out for that game-winning drive. He just said he had a cool confidence, meaning Bryce Young. Young said he was confident. He just like, hey, this is what we're here to do. This is what we do. We're professionals. This is what they pay us to do. It's what we're here to do. That's what we're going to do. And so Adam Thielen commenting positively on Bryce Young and his swagger even before the game-winning drive. So lots of great things happening today. Even Eddie Piñeiro talking about, well, you know what? I'll let Eddie Piñeiro talk about his post-game piggyback ride.
I mean, it feels amazing. You couldn't have said it any better. Trusting the process, coming into this game 0-6, we got to get one for the team, get one for the fans. It's bigger than just the team. It's the fan base. It's, the city. Those are the things that we look at here in the locker room, too. We don't just play for ourselves. We play for everybody here, So followed my technique and just did my normal prayer that I usually do before I kick, and that's it.
When you see it
to go through the uprights all 3 times. Like, okay, what else you got?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I told Johnny before the kick, I said, listen, when I make this kick, I'm jumping on your back, and you're taking me all the way to the 50-yard line. He's like, all right, done deal. So, yeah, it was fun.
So with your final score, 15-13, Carolina Panthers top the Houston Texans, sends C.J. Stroud home with a loss. Bryce gets his first win. There's magic in Charlotte right now. Who knows how long they'll celebrate, but I think Bryce, being the even kill guy he is, he'll celebrate for a little bit and get back to business first thing Monday morning. But with that, that's our Carolina Pro Football Report on ADSN from Bank of America Stadium. I'm Kevin Tolbert along with Kevin Casey, and we'll see you next time.